Well, Turkey is vowing to fight against what it says is a disinformation campaign over the arrest of the Istanbul Mayor Imamoglu on corruption charges. Protests erupted following his arrest and they've turned violent. Turkey's head of communications, Fahrettin Altun, says the ongoing legal process must be respected. Let's take a closer look at the investigation into Imamoglu. The mayor and 89 others are accused of charges including bribery, bid rigging, extortion and forming a criminal organisation. Reports by the Financial Crimes Investigation Board form the basis of the case. A separate investigation is being conducted into Imamoglu and 7 others over allegations of aiding the PKK-CK terrorist organisation. He is to face trial for collaborating with the terrorist organisation, the PKK as well, and recruiting people affiliated with the group to public offices for political gains. 3 of his close aides were also arrested in the terrorism probe. 3 others are still being sought. So what happens next? That depends on the outcome of challenges by lawyers. Imamoglu was sent to jail on Sunday, pending trial on the corruption charges. 41 others remain on bail with restrictions. Imamoglu was removed from his mayoral post on Monday. Let's go now to Mehmet Çelik, the editorial coordinator of the Daily Sabah. He joins us now from Istanbul. Good to have you back with us, Mehmet. We heard Fahrettin Altun, the director of communications for Turkey, talk about how disinformation seems to be inciting or fanning these protests. Tell us more about what Fahrettin Altun is saying.
Well, at times like this, where there is, strong social tensions in the society, disinformation can instigate further tensions, and these tensions can turn into violence and clashes within the society or between some provocateurs and some protesters and the police. I think one of the key issues here is that, there is a limit between sharing information. There's a difference between sharing information and that freedom about that, or sharing disinformation that can actually lead to public unrest. And I think there is that thin line that must be respected and observed, and responsibility falls on all sides of tensions at times like this. Right now, there is a case that involves Mr. Imamoglu about corruption and other allegations, but the opposition has been able to mobilize many people around this argument and in support of Imamoglu. However, what has been, I think, one of the key moments with regards to these protests as well as disinformation is the fact that the organizers, the opposition-led circles that are organizing, calling for these protests, are not able to control the masses in a way that the democratic rights are practiced, and that includes sharing of information that is not true. The disinformation about the protesters, the disinformation about the case itself, the disinformation about the certain individuals or how things are being portrayed from the opposition side can lead to, first of all, disinformation, and public is misinformed. Secondly, can lead to, I think, and this is also security related, can lead to public unrest based as the shared information can spread very quickly. That one bit of information at times like this can instigate many violent clashes and violent unrest between simple even individuals. So I think all parties involved in these protests must be very aware of this disinformation and what it can turn into, and acknowledge the fact that there will be ill intention that will be infiltrating into these protests that also can further escalate tensions. And the opposition and those who are organizing these events must also be aware of this and try to tackle this and refrain from using a language, a rhetoric that could further promote this spread of disinformation.
In remarks earlier today from Ankara, Fahrettin Altun also spoke about allowing Turkey's judicial system to run its course when it comes to Imamoglu. Explain those comments for us. So what does he mean by that?
Turkey has free and independent judiciary, and I think this disinformation, as well as opposition's rhetoric, is in an attempt to manipulate the event and put pressure on the judiciary. The judicial process should be respected in the sense that there is some serious allegations against Mr. Imamoglu and other individuals. Instead of saying this is a politically motivated case, instead of saying, spreading disinformation and trying to polarize the society further, I think they should be able to answer what the judicial process is arguing and what are the allegations in this case. They should be able to respond to those rather than just simply saying, accusing the judiciary to be influenced by the politics. I think everyone should leave the judiciary alone, and the outcome should be respected. Otherwise, anybody that can have influence over a judiciary or judicial processes in general will try to influence them, and then we will lose the state of law and independent judiciary institutions part of a democratic state. I think that must be respected, and that is not only needed for this case, but for all the cases that involves just simple citizens or other public cases against politicians or other individuals.
Okay, Mehmet Çelik, we'll leave it there for now. Great to get your thoughts as always. Thank you.